EVTN News, everyone. Today is Monday of Holy Week, so we're here. We're finally here. We made it. The last week of Lent, and for the Byzantines, not Lent. um, yeah, it's very interesting. So the Byzantines, they have so Holy Week is actually not part of the Byzantine Lent. Um, And as a result, today they are celebrating the Feast of the Annunciation. It is March 25th, and so traditionally that would be the case, but since it falls during Holy Week, then it is pushed back to actually April 8th, which happens to be a solar eclipse in this part of the world. And so sometimes big events are, uh, like big church events, are kind of highlighted by different events, such as like different natural events, I guess you would say, such as um, when Benedict was elected Pope, or when Benedict resigned, lightning struck the Vatican, and what else? Pope Francis, when he visited Philadelphia, there was a blood moon. So, um, okay. So let's get started with the news. So let's start with women deacons, and that is on the Synodal agenda. Let me see. Okay. So the Nuova BQ.it is an Italian website. March 16th, they reported that the script for Francis' synod on the smokescreen of synodality was already written. Francis's synodal study groups will report to the plenary of the synod in October and continue their work thereafter until June 2025, making the synod a kind of permanent process, or in Marxist terms, a permanent revolution. Deaconesses will emerge from the synod through the invention of a non-sacramental diaconate for women, as I have been saying. This will be done by Tuccio, who has already invented a non-liturgical blessing. Okay. And I just want to make sure that this video, okay. Let's see here. I want to make sure this video is working okay. Alright, let me get back to this. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a while, is that there will be the deaconesses. It won't be necessarily ordained at first, of course, but eventually they will be. That's the goal, at least. But if we get a Catholic Pope, they won't, and the synod will end immediately. So people are worried about perpetual revolution, the Marxist idea, and don't be scared about that, because once you get a Catholic Pope, it'll just end it. So he'll end all this clown show that's going on. That doesn't mean that the next one will be a Catholic Pope. It might be a modernist again. We may have to struggle through several modernist popes before we get a Catholic one, but it's a matter of time. The clock is ticking. It will happen, because people that don't believe in the Catholic faith aren't interested in the Catholic faith anymore. I mean, I would imagine that was the case in the 60s and 70s, that the ones who didn't believe in the Catholic faith were still interested in infiltrating and destroying the church, but now they're not. So, yeah. Okay, thanks for joining me on the live stream. So the next topic I have, and it's not like as, what would I say, like big news as it seems. People will probably see the headline and click on it in the video because of this article, but I just don't think this is necessarily as significant as people may expect it to be, or as like groundbreaking. Anyway, Francis has named Auxiliary Bishop Gerard Battersby of Detroit as the new Bishop of La Crosse, Wisconsin. He succeeds outgoing Bishop William Callahan, whose resignation was accepted at the age of 73 for health reasons. During his tenure, he suspended Father Altman and made Monsignor Grinder a pastor. So you guys are probably well aware of the events that Callahan, the steps that Callahan took. And Father Altman, I don't think necessarily helped his cause. Anyway, let me talk about Father Altman for a second. I watched a video, and he said that, yes, Bishop Callahan definitely didn't have good health, and so he resigned. He said this new Bishop Battersby of Detroit, auxiliary bishop of Detroit, now real bishop, not that auxiliaries are fake bishops, but the Bishop of La Crosse, now new Bishop of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Whenever Bishop Battersby was in Detroit, he tried to prevent Father Altman from speaking at a conference in Detroit. I think, I don't know. I mean, Father Altman just kind of went crazy and went on all these social media sites, and I don't know. I mean, he could have just not posted anything online and served his parish. That's my perspective on that. And he didn't. And then he chose to, chose to go to all these events. And some people are sort of distancing. I think a lot of the Catholic media is distancing itself from Father Altman at this point. But anyway, Bishop Battersby. Father Altman's already declared Francis an anti-pope, so he won't be receiving, is he suspended? He won't have the suspension removed. He may have had a chance, though, if he would, like I said, he took my advice, which, I mean, it's just a random guy, so I didn't expect him to, but this information is kind of interesting. Bishop Battersby became known in 2020 for removing from the Archdiocese of Detroit, Dignitas and Fortunate Families Detroit, two groups involved in LMNOP propaganda. He wrote they were no longer welcome in the Archdiocese because they contradict church teaching. So I think Monsignor Grinder might be a little bit concerned about his future in the Diocese of La Crosse under Bishop Battersby. Let's hope so. At least maybe a little more secretive in his choices of activities. Anyway, let's move on. Bishop Athanasius Schneider has left all social media. Users who appear under his name are not connected to him. He confirmed to LifeSite News that he has deleted all his accounts, but he gave no reason for this decision. His websites still exist, but not his social media accounts. So I guess this might be noteworthy if we know why. If he decided to do it himself, good for him. If Francis coerced him into doing that, not so good. But we don't know, and we might not know. But I certainly have respect for people who delete social media accounts on their own accord because they're maybe spending too much time on them, or I mean, that's really a big drain of time whenever you could be doing something a lot better with your time. Okay, in Atlanta, two men dressed as women have acted as altar servers during Novus Ordo Eucharist at the Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in Atlanta, Georgia. The Remnant newspaper reports. They had a picture which was taken on January 28th that shows both men, one holding the lectionary for the gospel. The other man, who was recently baptized, he received new body parts in January. So, yeah. Okay. So that's your Novus Ordos in Atlanta, accompanying the LMNOPs in their lifestyles. Meanwhile, Catholics call them to repentance and conversion. Okay, some German bishops and a group of Curia cardinals have issued a joint statement after a meeting in the Vatican on March 22nd. They agreed on a regular exchange on the further work of the apostate German Synod and its permanent synodal commissions. The next meeting will take place before the summer. The Germans promised that all their decisions would be submitted to the Holy See for approval, but that doesn't matter because whatever they decide has already been introduced anyway. The Vatican was represented by Tuccio from so the departments are listed after these people. So his department is the destruction of the faith. Cardinal Koch, ecumenism, Parolin, Secretariat of State, Prevost, bishops, and Roche, destruction of the liturgy. So if you're looking at that group of cardinals, yeah, they'll have a very cordial interaction with the Germans because I think they'll find that they agree on most things. One of their biggest disagreements is how quickly to move towards heresy and apostasy. So there's that. No end in sight. And then I also have not an article, but a link posted in the description for there's a flyer, I guess, maybe a flyer. It's on a website for the Catholics in Communion Conference. Yeah, it's in communion with Francis, right? This is sponsored by tradrecovery.com, so you may have seen what all the rage was about. But if you didn't, come take a look at this website, waste a little bit of your time. It's July 25th through July 27th in Montana. And I guess, okay, so from the website it says the term radical traditionalism describes a movement that rejects or is suspicious of the magisterium and reforms from the time of the Second Vatican Council to the present day. Okay, and then further down, often fostering divisive or even schismatic attitudes within the church. If you are someone who has been affected by this or who is looking to understand its impact on the church, this conference is for you. Space is limited. Please register soon. I'm sure it is limited because you're not going to get a lot of people. So one of the featured speakers is His Holiness Michael Lofton himself. You know, we're talking about another Michael who should delete his social media accounts and just end his social media presence. First one is Michael Voris. He should never go back on social media again. And Michael Lofton's another one. He should not. Oh, and Michael Lofton. So all these speakers are pending diocesan approval. Oh, boy. Okay, there was one who was approved by the diocese, a priest, and then, most of these people. Oh, no, and Jeremiah Bannister. That's super cringe. Oh, boy. That's terrible. He was on Meaning of Catholics channel, but yeah, I just noticed that. That's really disappointing. Well, and I know he said some cringe things on the channel, like I think I'm surprised that Kennedy Hall didn't refute this, but he said, if the Novus Ordo Mass is so bad, why did it nourish so many of the saints? Or like, it only nourished post-Vatican II saints. It only nourished the saints that were canonized after JP2 changed the canonization process. Because before that, you had investigation, you had required miracles, and a devil's advocate. Now you don't. You can waive the miracles or water them down. I think it was either John the 23rd or Paul the 6th whose supposed his canonization was definitely watered down, or it was approved by watered down processes. They didn't have the required miracles. And then so Michael Lofton's having also like a pending title talk All right, let's sign up to hear Michael Laughlin talk when you could just listen to him talk for 3 hours about why Taylor Marshall's bad. Okay. Is there anything else I want to say on this? This event will include talks, communal liturgy of the hours, and mass. Of course, Novus Ordo Mass could be a clown mass, maybe with women lectors, women Eucharistic ministers. Yeah. So. The Diocese of Helena, Montana will first confirm each speaker's being in good standing with their individual dioceses. Wow. They're so obedient. There's some former sedevacantists who have embraced the Novus Ordo Clown Mass. Okay. Awesome. Not really. Not at all. All right. Let's see what is going on in live chat here. Oh, come on. All right. How dare you be so rigid against deaconettes? I saw... is that the really nutty guy? I'm not exactly sure. I saw those folks a year ago. They were absolutely desperate. Obscurantists. Is that the really nutty guy? I don't know. Go on Meaning of Catholic. He has some really cringe takes about the Novus Ordo, but this is why he's invited, and it's a bunch of grifters trying to make a little bit of money. They've decided that the trad market's pretty small. They're not going to make a lot of money off of them, so they're going to the Novus Ordo market to criticize the trads. So, I mean, if you're if you're a full-time podcaster, you got to make money somehow, and this is one of the ways to do it. And that's why I'll never be a full-time YouTuber, and so my video quality is this is the video quality you're going to get. You're not even going to get a green screen or anything fun, because I just don't have the time to do it. I don't have the time or the interest. If I had the time, I'd probably try something. But it still wouldn't make me enough money to offset the cost of the green screen, which is what, last time I checked it was like $40 for a green screen. Man, it's going to take me a while to get that. Okay. I also want to talk about, there's a few other things. So I am planning on posting a video at some point soon about that pagan ceremony in Superior, Wisconsin. There was like a Indian ceremony that was going on there with the guy beating a drum. So that was at the Chrism Mass, which was a week earlier than what the Chrism Mass should be. So anyway, I'm not going to nitpick about Novus Ordo stuff, but I might do like an analysis of that on a video. Maybe it'll be a quick video, I think. I mean, the ceremony itself is kind of long, but the video shouldn't be too long. I also saw this article on Gloria TV that it says Francis has not presided at the Eucharist for years. He doesn't do it in public, but he doesn't do it in private either. This is from infovaticana.com. The only exception was on All Souls Day when he presided with the Master of Ceremonies. No, I can't verify that. And this is Spicola. I don't know Spicola. Oh, it's a magazine maybe? I don't know. But they said we are not talking about a man who has such serious health problems that he cannot preside at the Eucharist. He's able to stand. He stands when he wants to and does so in Santa Marta as elsewhere. So, but the priest is supposed to celebrate Mass every day, and the Chrism Mass doesn't really count. Sorry, not Chrism, Concelebration. Taylor Marshall had a good video on that with Kennedy Hall. I don't know if that's true or not, but I figured they seem to be confident that that's the case. Now, also, another thing I'm not sure about. Last week I did say about the one lady that works in the USCCB ecumenical department, I actually can't, I did not confirm that her religion is not Catholic and that she is a J. You know what I'm talking about. So I can't, I didn't confirm that, so I don't know if that's true. It didn't say so in the article where I could see it. So I don't know. I don't know. Would it be surprising? No, but that doesn't mean that it is reality. So, um, there's that. And I think, oh, Cardinal Burke. There's a photo of Cardinal Burke shaking hands with Francis, smiling. They're both smiling. He's so glad to shake hands with the guy that kicked him out of his apartment and is trying to destroy the faith. Yeah. So, oh, and last thing, okay. I figured there would be some important things. Cardinal Gretsch, Cardinal Mario Gretsch. He said a female diaconate and a different place for women in the church are a natural deepening of the Lord's will. When asked if these invalid ordinations would be a revolution, Cardinal Gretsch implicitly affirmed the content of the word and only denied the term. He said, I don't use terms like revolution. So, yeah. This is Cardinal Gretsch. Well, not necessarily a favorite for the next pope. He's a possibility. I mean, he's one of the names possibly being discussed. He's very far on the left, but there are quite a few of those Francis friends that are very far on the left, which is really concerning. I think that there's definitely a possibility that a Catholic could be elected pope, but Francis's friends are going to have a say, and that's really bad. But that's it. I think a lot of people are very much looking forward to the possibility of another pope, a different pope. So, yeah, that's what I have to say on that. Okay, I don't have any other news. So until next time, this has been EVTN News. Oh, okay, here's another comment. Brace yourself for Francis 2.0. Well, even a lot of the cardinals are sick of Francis. Not, I don't know how many, but it seems like a decent bit of them are just annoyed and sick of him. Because he does nothing except division, basically. He's very divisive, and a lot of them like to use the word confusion. I don't think there's any confusion about what Francis really intends. I don't think there's any confusion. These people are just confused that a Catholic Pope, so these people are just, the people are speaking about themselves because they're just having a hard time accepting that a Pope can preach error and he can preach things that are contrary to the faith. And do it in such a manner that's so bold that, yet they keep quiet. They don't want to live in a tent under the okay. I don't know. But they keep quiet. Yeah, Cardinal Burke's been quiet. Cardinal Sarah, he's been very quiet because he has a possibility of being elected pope. Not a good one. I used to be of the mind that there's a 0% chance he could be elected pope, but I think that number is now greater than 0. I don't think it's much greater than 0, but I think it's greater than 0 that he could be elected pope, and that would be really neat. He'd be more traditional than Benedict. Columns of St. Peter. Okay. All right. Yeah, so, and I could probably do like a Papal Favorites show once we get closer to that time, or when that time is upon us. and I don't know any better than the rest, but I think I have a strong inclination that Africans are going to be the favorite to be elected pope. There's a likelihood that we will have an African pope, but it may not be and he may not be as traditional as we had hoped. May, the key word is may, but that's for another time. Okay, until next time, thank you so much for watching. We are the laity, and we will not be silent.